mention these next the things, I wanted to mention something about. There's always been this strange correlation, not only with dragons and reptiles, but there a relationship between uh, the eagle and the snake. Okay.
Yes, feathered serpents. Yes.
Well, that gets into quadrilateral, or but it's
Quetzalcoatl.
yeah, but it goes even farther back than that, because like freaking there's the story of Tiamat. Have you ever heard of Tiamat?
Yes, I'm familiar.
Now, with Tiamat, Tiamat was represent or she was in the Mesopotamian religion, and she's the primordial sea. Okay,
Yeah.
and she mated with Abzu or Apsu, however you want to
So, yes.
pronounce it. But he was the groundwater, and she was the sea. She was the salt water. Okay,
Yeah.
and they produced the gods in the Enuma Elish, which is an old Babylonian epic. Now, the the Enuma the Enuma Elish, okay, translates as "when on high." All right. Now, have you ever heard that term before?
I have not.
When on high is what a lot of religious people to this day still use in their terminology. Okay, and she's referred to as a woman, and she has
Hmm.
a various uh, anthropomorphic and theriomorphic features whenever
Hmm.
she's described, which include like her breast and then a tail. Okay,
Yes.
so there's a chance that Tiamat was a reptilian, even though a lot of people kind of dispute that if it's true or not. You know what I'm saying? But there is a
There's too
lot of
much evidence. There's
right.
too much evidence of creatures that are,
Well,
humanoid.
especially her. Okay,
Yeah.
because like the whole thing about her was well, first let me kind of get into a little background about her. She's supposed to have produced she was the mother of all of the deities within the Babylonian and the Sumerian traditions. Tiamat and Apsu mated, and they ended up creating the gods that the Babylonians and the Sumerians worshipped, like Enki and Enlil and all of
Enlil.
them.
Yes.
She was supposed to be the mother of them. Now, um, what happened was is they continued to reproduce, and the gods that they or the deities that they produced began to become noisy, and Apsu was driven to violence because of the noise that they made, and he went out and tried to destroy them. Now, instead of him destroying them, they ended up killing him, and that enraged
Mm.
freaking Tiamat, because they had her own children had killed her husband. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Their father. So she went to war with him, and the next thing you know, freaking Enki's son Marduk, who is a Babylonian god, ends up killing her and dismembers her, and then and then creates constructs and structures and
Mhm.
elements of the cosmos from her body. So, like everything on Earth and everything in the sea and all of the cosmos is created out of Tiamat.
Correct.
You see,
Yes.
there,
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that she is um the oldest. I might be mistaken on this. She's the oldest. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the oldest legend or whatever of that type of being. You know, in the human brain, that there's actually a place in your brain that's called it's called like a reptilian something or another, but
Yep.
it's in every human being
It's the fight.
in the brain,
It's
like
the
the
area that causes fight or flight. Whenever you feel,
correct. Yes.
whenever you feel fear, or whenever you freaking, uh, well, fear. Period. It's the part of your brain that makes you either run from something or uh, fight. You know what I mean? I know.
Yeah, fight or flight. Correct.
It's the
Uh,
it's the primordial part of the brain.
Hmm. Now, Tiamat, just so you were mentioning religion, okay? Um,
hmm
Also, it's claimed that the name Tiamat uh, is a cognate with the Northwest Semitic word to him, and and I noticed that you're into like the abyss and the deeps and stuff like that from what you've been talking about on the Discord channel. Now,
hmm
now to him means the deeps and the abyss, and in the book of Genesis, verse 1 is where you can find that.
hmm
Now, the Babylonian epic Enuma Elish is named for its incipit, when on high, or when above the heavens did not yet exist, nor the earth below. Abzu, the subterranean ocean, was there, the first, the begetter, and Tiamat, the overground sea, she who bore all them. They are
Yeah.
mixed. They were mixing their waters. So that comes from the Babylonian epic, and that right there, if you look at freaking like the book of Genesis, that's pretty much spelling it out. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Also, it says that the firmament was placed, to keep the waters separate, so that also, from the waters above and the waters below. That's another thing that goes hand in hand with that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that would separate the Abzu from Tiamat. According to the Mesopotamian religion, that would be the firmament and the ocean. You see, that would separate the fresh water from the salt water. So, what do you think so far, Austin?
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, that actually makes sense, and even a scientific sense. You know how the salt water and the fresh water came to be separate. I never even really thought of that before. That's
No,
that's
they
that's
also have
amazing.
different densities, um, which you could take like a man little personal submarine type vehicle, like the one that had just had an accident not too long ago. Um,
Oh,
they you,
Titan.
they find like lakes under seawater, under the salt water, the oceans. They find, they can find these lakes, and there's the density of them, like they'll just bounce right off of it. They can't submerge into it because there's different buoyancy. I don't know why that brought in my head.
It's
But yeah,
it's
I
good.
agree.
It sounded good. It sounded good. So you were on a roll. Don't worry about where it came from. It sounded really good to me. So you did good. You hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
I
Just
did. Thank you.
just to let you know, man.
It's so nice that somebody's, yeah, like I've never had another friend or anything. Like even my husband, he's not into this kind of stuff. Like he won't listen to it. But it's nice to have like-minded people to talk to and work things out, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's needed. Really, I think that's a big missing part of everything, And then everybody's like, "Oh, conspiracy theorists." You can be arrested for conspiracy. It's not a fabricated thing. And I don't understand why they want to keep informations like this from the people. Like, it has to do with all of us,
Mm-hmm.
every single one of us. And I don't know.
Because it keeps them in power. It's all about power.
Mm-hmm.
They can control us by keeping things from us.
Well,
And
there's
a lot
About
of people
control.
also, they control us out of fear. They like to keep chaos and fear. And that's how else are you supposed to manage a flock of such a large amount of people, if they feel like, oh, that you're protecting them, or
Mhm.
being, I'm sorry, I'm getting into my little blackened moments of like freezing. So you can hear it in my voice. Can you hear it? This is
yeah,
why I'm worried about doing
it's
this.
You sound
perfectly
right.
fine. It sounds perfectly fine. You're all right. Now,
I think I'll get better at it.
I do agree with you guys about the fear and stuff, but I also have to say too that like there's a lot of things in these writings that they don't really want to get into, like
Yeah.
because like they don't want to discuss things that relate to magic and things of that nature, which people back in those times believed in. You know what I mean? Because like
Mhm.
with Tiamat, she ended up creating an army of reptilian, which a lot of people claim are dragons, a reptilian army to fight out against these deities, her children. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
instead of them being made of blood, they were made of poison. Now, like in today's world, most people aren't going to even believe that that's true. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And then it even goes back, like you were talking about, her being the beginning of all of it. But the truth is like a lot of people miss. And I mentioned it in the notes that I gave you guys about Namu. Okay,
Hmm.
now Namu, she was supposed to be the mother of Enki at first, and she was the supposed to be the creator deity in Eridu. Okay,
Hmm.
now like I said, she was also the mother of Enki, but it's also assumed that she was associated with water, just like
Yep.
Tiamat was. All right, and she was also connected with incantations and and magic.